But anything can happen.
Welcome to The Pull. Not the weekly pull. This is The Pull, the show brought to you by myself, Sal, and Joel, in which we get a guest who may or may not read comic books, but every week it's a new guest, and we talk about comic books. Unlike the weekly pull, which started as a comic book podcast, but has quickly devolved into Faust problems. Anyway.
Faust World Problems. Hashtag.
All right, guys. So the way this typically works is we are going to run down the comics of the week. I'm Benny the Comicstorian. If you're watching this on my channels or on my Twitch, you probably know who I am. But if you don't, I dramatically recap comic books for you. Joining me this week is Sal from Comic Pomp. Sal, what do you do over there?
We make 5 weekly videos about ranging from conversations to reviews. We talk all about comic books. It's your one-stop shopping.
Do you really go to comic books? I thought you guys did video games. But go figure.
Right? Occasionally.
Joel, what do you do on your channel? Mr. Kate Joel.
Well, mostly I juggle chainsaws and make my own butter, and sometimes in there I also review comics, and I also have podcasts. So, if you're interested in any of those things, from making butter to juggling chainsaws, check that out.
Well, are you making butter while discussing comic books?
I probably should. That's a new thing. Comic-themed butter. Series.
All right, and today's guest, some of you may know him, some of you might not. If you were following the Arkham train, you probably saw some of his videos. He is Caboose, XBL. He talks about a lot of the movies, the video games, and that kind of jazz. But why don't you tell them who you are, Caboose?
Well, like you said, most people probably remember me from back when I was covering the Arkham games, all the way from Arkham Origins to the end of Arkham Knight. But now that the Arkham Knight hype train has finally hit its last stop, I'm covering all sorts of comic book movies and things like that, because the comic book movie train will never stop.
At least not until 2020.
Yeah, at least not until 2020. All right, guys. So, as usual, if you've watched just any of the previous weeks before this, we need to go through the titles. As usual, I'm going to go through them in a hurry. My voice is killing me, so I'm going to take a lot of water. So, Sal, Joel, and Caboose, jump in whenever something sounds interesting and strikes your fancy. This week, we've got I Fight Ghosts, 3 devils, 3 kids walk into a bank. 4 kids.
Is that a setup to a joke?
4 kids walk into a bank. The Action Verse, Airboy Deluxe Edition, Aliens Defiance, All New Wolverine, Amazing Spider-Man, Amelia Cole, and the End of Everything. Angela, Queen of Hell, that has been canceled. I'm so sad. Archie, Comics Annual, Arise, Art Ops, Templars, Ant-Man, Astronauts in Trouble. Oh, the Ant-Man, by the way, is the first volume which is released finally.
Which is good.
Astronauts in Trouble. That sounds like it could be a porn.
That tells you everything you need to know. They're in trouble.
Avio Mirrored Law, Avengers Standoff, Omega. That is the end of that series. We'll be talking about that today. We have Batgirl, Batman 66, Batman 51, the epilogue to Scott Snyder's brilliant run. Bayix, Bill and Ted Go to Hell, Binary Noise. Black Canary, I'm not talking fast at all today because my throat hurts. Black Magic, Boy Lord, Bunny Man. I want to read Bunny Man. Camp Midnight,
What
Camp
are his
Midnight
powers?
Preview. Captain Canuck. Well, are we getting those weekly now, Joel?
I guess you must be. I mean, it's hard for me to write and draw all these Captain Canuck books and get them out every week, but I do it.
Carnage, Volume 1, Carnage, Issue 7, Seed the Throne, I can't pronounce this, Chad Hidia. We have Chaos Campus, Circuit Breaker, Cluster, Codice's Infinite, really? The Collected, BGBF, Black Gay Boy Fantasy. Okay.
No
one comments on that. We're moving on.
Oh my. Oh my.
Comics Play, Conan the Avenger, Covered, Creepy, Crystal Knights, Cyborg. Oh, I'm getting my steam going here. Defrag.
Hey.
Oh yeah, we do mangas now in Comixology. Daredevil, Dark Knight #3, another book we're talking about today. Dead at 17, Rebirth. Deathstroke, Demon Slayer, Deus Ex, or Deus Ex, however you want to say it.
Deus.
It's Deus.
Deus Ex, Volume 1 of Doctor Strange Issue 7, and Doctor Strange Last Days of Magic. Doctor Who the 10th Doctor, Domain Temerot, Double Life of Miranda Turner, Drax, Dream Police, Eagle, Egos, Elias the Cursed, Escape from New York, Eternal Man, Extraordinary X-Men Volume 1, Faith Issue 4, Fake Empire, The Fiction, Four Eyes, Freelance Blues, Friar, From the Ashes, The Furry Trap. Oh.
Oh my. Let's not talk about that.
Add to cart. Godlings, Gods of Connor, Goldwood Chronicles, Grayson, Grim Fairy Tales, Red Agent.
That's a series.
Harley Quinn, Hellboy, Heroic Spotlight, Hillbilly Preview, Hollow Girl, Imperium, Independence Day, Jackson, Insect, International Iron Man, Irwin Allen's Lost His Space,
Good save.
Jacked, Justice League 3001, Killbox, Claw, Kramer's Eargrot, The Faceless Ghost, The Last Gang in Town, The League of Champions, The Living Finger. What?
The living finger. All men fear the living finger.
The Living with Insanity, Lizard's Heads, Low, Major Grom, Marshals, Ultimate Spider-Man Web Warriors, Contest of Champions, Part 2!
Yeah. Wow, what a title. What a mouthful.
Menage a Three.
That one's just right out in the open for you.
Micronauts, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Miss Marvel, Munchkin, Mythic, Nutmeg, Octopus Pie, Volume 3, Oddly Normal, Old Man Logan, Omega Men, Outcast by Kirkman and the other guy's poor name got cut off.
Aw. Poor guy.
Over the Garden Wall, Pathfinder, Issue 6 of 6, Hellcat and Heidi, Peanuts, Pink Panther, Postal, Power Lines, The Punisher Born,
Fucker and Fuckatash.
Quantum and Woody. It's got a
I am loving-
QU33R. I think it's queer. Don't know.
Yeah.
Rancid Milk, Reckless Chronicles, Rick and Morty Volume 2,
Hey.
Ricky, The Rise of the Antichrist, Lockship, Mondak, The Saga, Satan's Hollow, Secret Six, Sex, but spelled in Japanese, Sex Criminals, Sinestro,
Sexual.
6, Sonic Universe, Space Brothers, Spider-Man 2099, Volume 3, Spider-Woman, Spidey, Spinneret, Volume 1, Squadron Supreme, Star Wars, Star-Lord, Star Wars,
There's a lot of stuff happening in the stars.
Strange Fruit, Strange Cemetery, Strawberry Shortcake Comic,
Oh, yes.
Suicide's Most Wanted, Deadpool and Katana, Suiciders, Kings of Hell, Suckers, Super Pro KO,
That's a knockout.
Superman and Wonder Woman, Super Zero, Teen Titans. Oh, wait, right up there. Okay. Superman and Wonder Woman, Super Zero, Teen Titans, Tet, Tower Chronicles, Transformers, More Than Meets the Eye, Transformers, Sins of the Wreckers, The Ultimates, The Unbeatable Squirrel Girl, Uncle Grandpa, Ungrounded, The First Revolution, Velocity. That looks cool. I'm going to put that in the cart.
There aren't nearly as many funny names this week. We need more like Japanese light romance novels with
that
funny
always rips up the
mistranslated
show.
names.
Velvet, The Man Who Stole the World, Venom, The Space Knight, Vikings, We Are Robin, Wet Moon, not gonna add that to my cart, Wicker Storytellers, Wraithborn, Wrath of the Eternal Warrior, The X-Files, X-Men, Age of Apocalypse. This is the volume. I looked at it. It's like all of it in one. It's like 500 pages.
That's got to be a gigantic collection.
Hot damn.
And Zombie Tramp, Volume 7, Bitchcraft.
Okay, give that man a Coke. That's a good name.
All right, and on that note, we have gone through all the books that came out. I'm going to open up with the 2 indies that I read that you guys didn't read, just so we can kick this off on those, okay? So first up, Super Zero. We are now at issue 5. This is the book I told you guys about by Amanda Connor and Jimmy. Go for it, Joel.
Palmiotti,
There we
love
go.
those guys. I really need to start reading this book. I can't believe I haven't. I'm such a
Well,
huge fan and I haven't checked it out yet.
We're currently on issue 5, and the story is this girl, she's trying to get superpowers, like I told you. So she's been bitten by radioactive ants now, by putting them in a microwave. She tried to do weapons training, and now she is stowed away on a spaceship to go into space in hopes of getting powers like the Fantastic Four.
Get some cosmic
Right,
rays.
okay.
But she gets out there and discovers something very odd is going on. And this issue got really good. Really good.
Oh, cool.
So, if you haven't been reading Super Zero, not a good jumping on point, but I do recommend just grabbing all 5. Just read
Okay, I'm heading to the shop and buying
Yeah.
them.
No, I definitely recommend just getting all 5 of it and just
I'm leaving
read
right
them.
now.
Heck, I have Jimmy Palmiotti in my Skype friends list. Should we tag him on in for a second and say, hey, Jimmy,
I
want
like
to
how
talk
you
about your
always
book?
throw that out there and you never act on it, Joel. If you ever can pull him actually into a conversation and not act like a fool making shit up, cool. Oh, called him out. Called him out. Sick
Okay, do we want Jimmy P for the show next week? Because I can probably write him and get him next week if we want.
If
Sorry,
you can,
Caboose,
we will
not
do a
to crap on
If you can get him,
Wow.
we'll do a special
You know what?
episode all
I'll
about
just leave
Super
right
Zero.
now.
No.
Okay, then I will
The other
read
book
it
that
and I will
read-
write him.
The other book that I read that isn't on the everyone reading it list is the book Faith #4, which actually wraps up the Faith miniseries and announces at the end of it that we now have an ongoing coming out. It was really cool. It brought back some old villains from the Valiant universe, and it wraps it up in a nice, neat bow with enough left open for an ongoing. So
Cool.
once again, though, don't recommend jumping onto it. It's the end of the whole story. So if you are interested in the character Faith, I would say go pick
back.
up all 4 of them. Yeah.
It's not hard to do. They're all available. They went to like 4th printings, so
Yeah, no, they're pretty easy to find, the Faith books. But those are the 2 indie books. No one else read them, so we're going to start with those. And for those of you guys who are just now joining us, asking about the comics we're going to be giving away, that will be at the end of the show, because it's going to be the next 6 books we're talking about.
Yes.
totally.
So let's start off with Batman 51, since everyone read here, including our guests, right, Caboose?
That's right.
Okay, so let's start with your opinion on Batman 51. I do want to say, just for those of you guys wondering, this right here is Batman 51, and it is the ending of the entire... Wow, we're getting a follow train, so they can't see me because I'm the one holding the thing. It is the ending of, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's run. This is the end of it.
Right.
And they did a
5-year
nice
run.
send-off at the end of this whole thing. So, what did you think about it, Caboose?
Honestly, it was phenomenal. It was really good, especially because pretty much nothing happens. But it's like it's like poetry. The way this comic plays out, it's really
rhymes.
beautifully done. You know, it's just like it was just a nice day in Gotham for once. You know, it was a really good send off, I think, for Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and yeah, the art is great. Everything's great. I really enjoyed this issue.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta agree with you on that one. You don't have to read... It's so shocking that the last issue in their run is a perfect one-shot. Like, you don't
Yes,
have
it
to read
is.
anything from the entire
Absolutely.
Scott Snyder run, and you get this book.
It's true.
I mean, you'll be a little confused about some things, but at the same time, it's just it's something you can get over really quick. You know, you flip through the pages and you're fine. You just understand everything that's going on. You understand that this is kind of the end of Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo's run, especially the way it starts. It's like this is the first page of the last story, I believe, was the quote. So
It's interesting.
Yeah,
The whole
Gotham
thing is
is.
narrated. Yeah, Gotham is, because the whole story is narrated by a journalist, and the journalist gives Snyder a chance to get super meta, where he's like, Gotham
Right.
is a blank page where you write on with white letters. I'm like, oh, so what I'm reading right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah. I mean, I've been a huge advocate of the Scott Snyder Batman run. So, if for those of you guys wondering, they thought they were going to end at 52. I think all of the 52s are the rebirths. It's like the bridging
Setups
issues,
to 'em,
and
yeah.
51s is the end of the new 52 characters, basically. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
52 is going to be helmed by James Tynion IV, who obviously has written Animals in the Batman book and is a student and contemporary of Scott Snyder. So you're in good hands for 52.
Yeah.
So, what did you think about it, Sal?
I thought it was really good. It kind of... It was a little bit of a callback to the whole run, but all the references were one panel or really tertiary. They weren't really a big... it wasn't a big continuity fest. It was just very much setting up the old, setting up the new guard. This is kind of the mic drop, I think, issue. It was kind of Snyder being this is what I think about what Batman is, and this is kind of even if he wasn't doing a whole other book about Batman,
Which he's going to be.
Yeah.
I think he'd still be I think the issue would have come out exactly the same. It was just him being this is what I think of Batman, and this is where I kind of want to leave him at this point. And it was good. It was just a solid issue overall.
I mean, if Batman never came back after this would be a nice... After everything that's just happened with it all wrapping up, this would be a great way to send it off. It really would.
It's a
yeah.
solid
I
ending
agree.
point. If I had to
so
sum it
rare.
up,
Oh, good.
I was going to say, if I just sum it up in one word, it would be symmetrical. It is a perfectly symmetrical comic, and it echoes the first issue in a very meaningful way. Obviously, of course, Sal, who was nice enough to make our thumbnail for this episode, is him going up against all the Arkham inmates, who are literally pretty much the same Arkham inmates who he fought all the way back in the first page of the first issue.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then I love how they make a lot of mentions, like resolving various things. Like one thing I thought was funny, and this isn't too much of a spoiler because they pretty much do it in an offhanded comment. But Alfred getting his hand back. They're
Yes.
just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Right.
we just reattached it. You're good.
Yeah, your hands back.
I liked how they did that. How they're like, hey, remember this thing from a couple arcs ago? Ah, well, we didn't forget about it, so here you go.
Yeah,
He's
no,
back to-
Alfred's got his hand. Don't worry, guys. In the new Rebirth, they'll be fine.
It was so
Yeah.
weird too reading it because like there were so many moments where it's like, okay, here comes the action. You know, here comes Batman being a badass, and it's like, nope,
Nope.
everything's all right.
Yeah.
Everything's
Yeah.
been handled, and it didn't bother me. I was like, oh, thank God. You know, we don't have to go through this again. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, one thing that I personally liked about it is I liked his callback to the Court of Owls. The
Yeah.
characters
Oh,
that
yeah.
he created. That was
Which
great.
he had to do, and he calls back to Whisper Gang as well, which was yet another group who he invented to this. And Whisper Gang gets a fun little aside in it, which I quite enjoy. I won't spoil it, but it's cool what they do.
It was cool. Yeah.
So, all right. So, I mean, overall, I mean, I personally think even if you've never read Batman, this is a great book to jump on at.
It really is.
It
It's
gives
a
you
great
a great
jumping
feeling
on
for
point.
him. Yeah.
It's
Despite
good
the
to
fact
just
that it's
own, you know, just to have this like this thing that's there. This is the final thing that Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder have done. It's such a special thing that you definitely should own if you're a fan of comics.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So everyone agree then? I mean, even if you've never read it, great
Oh, yeah.
jumping on point.
Oh, yeah,
Enough,
grab
Oh,
it.
for sure.
Batman
It's a
51.
must read.
It's a good setup.
All right, then. Next book on the list, then, we're going to talk about is Justice League Dark Side War. It's, what? I think Sal and I are the only two that read this one so far. It's
Yeah, I
Justice
didn't
League
get a
issue
chance.
49. It is part 9 of the Dark Side War, which doesn't even include the tie-ins.
The epic
No.
saga that is the Dark Side War, which started as an event and just became what's going on in Justice League until Rebirth.
Yeah. Ugh.
If you've been reading Dark Side War, it doesn't do anything.
Right?
I think there was like one big revelation in this book that could have been summed up in like a single page.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Like, they could have easily moved on, and that was the end of that.
This
I'll
is
give it two.
literally-
Yeah, two things happening here that are important.
if DC did recap pages, you could easily skip this issue and go to the next one, but like they don't, so I guess you'll just have to like either pick this up or wait for the like Reddit post that shows you the full page reveal.
We were so hot on this book when it started. Why are they dragging their heels so hard
know.
now at
This is
49?
This was such a great series, and the art is phenomenal. Jason Fabok's back.
Yeah.
You've got Jeff Johns, who's doing a great job. He's juggling all these characters, giving everybody moments that are really awesome and really cool. The story of Darkseid versus Mobius / the Anti-Monitor should be the story, and it sure as hell ain't. That story, like the Darkseid War, ended like
In the first arc.
and this has been like I don't know. It's cool where we're like they've been building up Grail and Wonder Woman and and now Superwoman's baby and all this other stuff. But at the same time, I'm kind of like, when are we gonna like if Rebirth weren't right on the heels of this issue, I'd be like, cool, okay, you know what, fine, let's take some time. But like we're literally about to something
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
whole damn
something.
universe. What are we gonna like? What are we doing? What are you doing?
I
here?
think the Rebirth issue is going to come out before the conclusion.
I mean, it better not.
That would be annoying.
I'm pretty sure it is. I think it is because this is the Justice League is always a late in the month release, and I think Rebirth is right around like a week after New Comic Book Day, Free Comic Book Day.
Something
Better
like
do
that.
New comic book day.
What a mistake. Who cares? Like, at that point, who cares? Like, it doesn't
And
matter.
it's funny because if you look at it, I looked at the solicits ahead of this. 51 and 52 have like nothing to do with this. Like it's just
Oh, good.
Yeah.
It's Green Lantern related, isn't it? I'm pretty sure the cover of one of those, I don't know if it's 51 or 52, but it's Jessie Cruz putting on a Green Lantern ring finally, yet again, to get her ready for DC Rebirth.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's something along those lines. But real quick for everyone who wants to be entered in to win these comic books, you do need to chat before I do it. You need to chat within 15 minutes. Everyone who chats, that's who it's logging in. So it doesn't get any dead people sitting in the chat. It's people who are actively watching. So if you just
Right.
say hi. That's all you got to say. You don't actually have
Participating.
to chat.
Yeah.
You just have to participate a little.
Say
okay.
Baba Booey.
I mean, it's not a jumping on point at all. If you haven't been reading Dark Side War, just wait until Rebirth at this point. Like,
Wait for the trade.
wait for the dude. They're breaking the trade up into multiple trades.
Yeah, the first one's
Wait for
already
the
out.
trades.
Wait for the omnibus.
Yeah.
I like how the chat's blowing up with hi.
Yeah. Hi! Free comics, please.
Okay. So then let's go ahead and overall, I think it's an okay book if you're following the story, but if you're not at all, no point to jump on at this point. It's just
No, the problem is it's
not-
such
for
a
myself,
solid
like,
book.
So for myself, like, it wouldn't even be worth it at this point to just jump in and start reading from the
no.
beginning.
No.
If you wanted to read it now, I'd say go get parts 1 through 8, then read 9.
Yes, you would
Oh.
legitimately be like, what is?
Or just
Okay.
wait until it's over and read the whole thing when it's done.
Yeah.
Because
I think
like I
that's
said, Sal, they don't have the recap pages, so you can't even read the recap and get a general idea.
No, it will be really alienating, but like it's a good read. Like it's a cool book, so it's worth picking up, but you just gotta wait.
Okay.
So okay, moving on to the next one. Let's talk Dark Knight 3. I believe you 3 all read it. I didn't.
I didn't read it either.
Okay, so it's Caboose and Sal. This is that one right
Oh
here.
man.
Go for it.
So Caboose, you've read The Dark Knight Returns, I assume.
Oh yeah, the old ones, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you read his sequel, The Dark Knight Strikes Again?
No, because I heard absolutely terrible things about it.
You heard correct. But this is the third installment, rumored to
Right.
only be written by Brian Azzarello, but apparently Frank Miller's got his name on there somewhere.
It's right here.
This, yeah. Oh no,
It's right there. There it is.
they're saying it's a Frank Miller Brian Azzarello co-production, but I have it on good authority that ain't written by Miller. But like,
Yeah, becoming
It
more
is-
and more apparent.
it's funny because I gotta say this book was kind of cool. Like,
No, I gotta agree with you. It was
Right?
It was not bad.
it wasn't bad.
It's perfectly adequate, the issues I've read so far, which, I mean, is good when I was considering another Holy Terror level flaming train wreck. And it's not, and yet at the same time, too, I feel a little bit cheated when I'm like, oh, I wanted crazy Uncle Frank to come back again and be crazy one more time.
I don't know. I wanted Crazy Uncle Frank with Andy Kubert's beautiful art.
What is this Batgirl?
That's now here we go. There is a
Yeah.
backup. There is a backup, which is really more of a continuation of the book. That's straight up drawn and I think written by Miller.
The backups
Wow.
feel that way, especially the Green Lantern one from last time felt very
it made
Miller.
no sense at all. That's Frank Miller. Right?
Yeah.
Like,
I liked the design of the Batgirl suit in this.
Oh,
I thought
God.
that was pretty cool.
Well, you know what's
I
funny,
mean-
and this is for people who don't know how this is working. So when you buy a regular issue, the backup is technically a midsection, and it's a mini comic book that they slap in there. But if you wait 2 weeks after this comes out, they come out with a hardcover version of each issue where the backup is actually in it.
Which seems extravagant to me.
Yeah. The one thing that I will say, the one ding I'll give that Batgirl suit, because I was like, cool, Carrie Kelly's Batgirl now, boom.
See, that's a
she
spoiler,
has a-
because someone said I did spoilers. That's more of a spoiler.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Because me
Uh,
just
We
saying
knew it was
here's the
coming.
cover of
It's
the
late.
because this is technically the cover of the thing in the middle. It's
Yeah.
a separate story from the main story.
there's a bat on the butt. Like
Wait, I
we're-
gotta see
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I gotta see this.
it's
It's it's a little weird, a little unnecessary.
a little unnecessary, but that's
She
like
looks
that is
cool
Frank
as
Miller.
Batgirl, I'll give
now.
it that.
Exactly. I was about to say that.
Oh,
Like
you're
that.
not even joking, and they make sure that there's a scene where you can see it.
Oh,
yeah. Yeah.
Juicy.
Is this is this the thing now, Frank? Is it because Carrie Kelly's older now? We can push her into a different thing where before she was sweet and childlike and idealized and everything, but now that
I
she's
don't know.
older,
It's a cool book, but I don't know if it's off the wall enough for it to be worth being called a Dark Knight sequel.
Yeah,
Everyone's like,
that-
my eyes.
have they
I
gone
gotta
back
agree
to
with
the
you with that.
fact? Have they gone back to the fact that Batman destroyed the internet last issue, so all them dang kids would take notice of what's going on?
No.
No.
I
Well,
don't remember reading
what-
anything like that.
So, I mean, what did you? Well, let's Caboose. Since this, you haven't read 1 through 3. How did you feel
Right.
about this? Would if somebody was like, I really like Dark Knight, they go to the store, they see this one sitting there, would you recommend it?
I'd have to probably say no. I mean, I didn't read 1 through 3 like you mentioned, so maybe reading 1 through 3, having a better understanding of what's going on, I might like this a little more. But that being said, it was pretty cool. I mean, it starts off with like this insane battle, and it's like, holy shit, you know, like it's pretty cool the way it opens. But yeah, then it slows down a little bit. There's a lot of these weird pages. Which I guess I won't really mention to not spoil anything, but there's a lot of these really weird pages where I have no idea what's going on. So, yeah, if you're jumping in right here, you're going to be pretty confused.
Yeah.
And Sal, do you agree with that whole thing? I mean,
absolutely. Oh no, you can't. You like. I would not recommend picking this up now. I would go back and pick up the other 3, but at this point, just wait for the trade.
And you know what? You'll actually have time to go back and reread those other issues because this is going to be getting delayed. In fact, they took the 6th issue off the solicitation thing
God.
because it's not going to be done in time.
I might not
This
even
was delayed
read
by
this
a couple of months.
because I haven't read this yet. I might just hold off because I read so many comics, and I know you guys, Sal and Joel, probably deal with the same issue. If you delay these books for 3 months, I forget what's going on.
It's true. True.
Yeah.
I straight up did forget it existed until it came out. I'm like, oh, it's out. Bye.
Here's my question. So, if the 6th issue is getting delayed, was there not supposed to be a series of tie-ins written by Miller that was going to be like the story before Dark Knight Returns, like Batman's last
Joker story?
adventure?
That was taken off the list. They say they're still working on it, but like, no.
You think
Yeah,
it's gone?
I don't think it's going to see the light of day anytime soon. The way that they've stopped talking about it, I don't think that's ever coming
That
out
was
now.
getting so much hype too.
Yeah, because it was drawn by Romita Jr. and written by Frank Miller.
So you get two
Oh,
people
man.
who are known
Can
to
only
be
imagine.
slow to do a book. All right, guys.
Why does DC keep making that mistake with Frank Miller?
All right, for the
Oh,
record,
man.
guys, any of you guys who are wondering, we just have a lot less books to talk about this week. The way we
Yeah.
do this show is everyone picks 3 books to read, and we all read the same books. So that's why we're talking a little bit more in depth about these books, because we don't have to cram in 12 of them. But let's move
Yeah.
on to the next one then. So Joel and I can talk about Superman, Wonder Woman. This is
Yay.
part 4 in the Batman Superman is dying thing. And
Yeah.
for the, I mean, it's not
The
really a
last days of
spoiler.
Superman, they're
Yeah, it's the
calling
last
it.
days of New 52 Superman. He's claiming he's going to die. I don't know if he's going to die, but that's what we're hyping for.
I think
Yeah.
they have to, because the way they've set it up after they outed his secret identity, killing him is the only way to put the genie back in the bottle, essentially.
Yeah, no, I could see that. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to go right out and say it. I mean, first off, this is the first issue I believe that has action in it. After 4 issues in, we finally no, not in a bad way. Everything has been like a eulogy kind of a thing, and this is the first
Well,
one we have
they
a
fought
fight.
some like Asian supervillains in the Batman Superman one.
Oh.
They fought those 4 pillars guys, but that
was like a
was a
page.
squash match.
Yeah, no, this was like him fighting other guys, like what's his name, Ulysses.
Yeah, they bring Ulysses back, which I did not read the Ulysses art from Jeff Johns, but in this one bit here, I'm like, oh, that guy's pretty interesting. I should go back and read
The
about
story
him.
arc's
was
really
cool.
good. I did a video on it. You should check it out. Anyway.
I should check it out. But when I'm done here, I'll have Benny tell me all about it.
I mean, I don't want to go too in deep into this one because, simply put, this is a continuation. But I will state, if you are only reading Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman, this is probably the best crossover series I've ever read, because every issue, while there's no backup, within the first page, you know exactly what is going on. This
true.
opens up with Wonder Woman being like, Clark, what didn't you tell me? And him being like, I'm dying because of everything that's happened. And she's like, did you talk to Batman? And he's like, yep. Oh, I'm here with Supergirl because she's taking over. Boom, recapped. We're good.
That's cool.
Yeah, hats off to Peter Tomasi for making it so you don't feel cheated just reading the books
Yeah.
that you read every week. Now, it's funny, but Benny, we were talking about this morning, saying how you actually kind of got a little emotional about the death of this New 52
Yeah.
Superman, because you're like, I don't want him to go now. And I weirdly kind of agree. I didn't give a crap about New 52 Superman until he started dying, and now I'm like, no, don't take him away from me now. He's been more Superman in the face of death than he has been any other time.
Yeah, and the reason I'm sad about it is, unlike most superheroes where it's like, oh, they'll bring him back in 3 years. I don't think they are. I think this is it for him. Because we're getting back pre-Flashpoint Superman, which is what the majority of people wanted. I think he's gone. Maybe in 5 years he'll pop up in some multiverse where they're just like, oh, he's still around over here.
Hey, remember me? I was the hip new Superman that people rejected en masse, so they brought the old guy back.
I think
Which
they're gonna. Oh, sorry.
Yes, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think they're gonna make him Clark Kent. I think they're gonna depower him.
And just have him live a life as normal Clark Kent.
I mean, even if they do that, though, yeah, he's not dead, but he's still gone. We're not going to get.
Oh yeah.
We're not going to get New 52 Clark Kent storylines.
I mean, you might. He'll probably become like a character in the Superman books. Like Superman will be doing this, Clark Kent will be doing that.
Well, it's funny you should say that, Sal, because in this book, one of the ongoing things is the battle against, he hasn't have a name yet, but I'm going to call him the Solar Superman. This is a guy who, for whatever reason, thinks he is Clark Kent, thinks he is Superman. And then to top it all off, when you read the solicitations for the next Tomasi run following DC Rebirth, they say, when a mysterious Clark Kent shows up in Metropolis, so maybe you're more right than you know.
Right? Yeah.
Either way,
I don't know.
I mean, there's not much more to talk about this without revealing everything. I mean, it's pretty much these last 4 issues have just been an extended goodbye to him. I like him a lot, I really do, and I don't feel like you need to read anything. Like it'll help you if you read them all, but you don't really need to. You can just jump in here and understand what's going on. This one explores the Superman Wonder Woman relationship,
which I was never a fan of, but they kind of give a nice swan song here and now, where he's like, "I didn't want to tell you, Diana, because that would make it real."
Yeah, no.
Can I just say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say. Can I just say that with respect to the Superman Wonder Woman relationship thing, I remember when they started doing that, and they were like, obviously this will not last forever, and when it ends, we have a huge blowout ending planned. Obviously, that's thrown out. That's kind of cool. I was like, when they said that, I was like, oh, well, then I'm not really gonna get invested in the Wonder Woman Superman relationship. It never kind of ended.
No.
And
That's
really
fights,
cool.
and it had some cool arcs with it. And that's
Yeah,
what I'm really
cool.
liking about this goodbye to New 52 Superman. Each issue is dedicated to his goodbye to somebody. So this is his goodbye to Wonder Woman. The last one was his goodbye to Supergirl. The one before that was his goodbye to Batman.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I don't know where we're going next with it, but I think there's only 2 more issues in the whole arc, isn't there?
Something like that, because we got to read. I think Superman next is the new. Like it comes back.
Batman Superman.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the next one, right? We
Okay.
got to read
Well,
that.
I mean that's that one right there. Let's move over to the next one. I believe. Did anyone read this? But Caboose, all new X-Men, Wolverine.
It's just me.
Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
Normally
I've
one of
been
us reads
reading
the
it.
Wolverine, but I just didn't get to this yet. So.
Yeah, I've been reading the book. I just haven't read this newest issue.
Me either.
So
Well, I don't mind taking over here.
I was gonna say, how do you feel about it, Caboose? You're the guy that read it.
You know what? It's not bad. I mean, I think what I liked the most about it was this is definitely something where if you jumped in now, you would be, for the most part, caught up and understanding of what's going on.
Cool.
I thought it was the whole story that they were playing out here. What they were doing was a little weird and just like really out there. But at the same time, they were doing some flashbacks and things like that led back to. I believe it's X-23, right? Led back
that's who
to
it is.
her
It's his
story
clone
and
slash daughter.
what's going on and her relationship to Wolverine.
That's
I
cool.
really like that. I like that they were going back to her roots and everything like that. So it was a really interesting issue. There were some weird things going on that was like really, really out there, but it was funny. You know, there's some cute moments, things like that, and some good like emotional beats throughout. So.
Well,
Yeah,
this
it was like
one
it was
has
good.
Squirrel Girl in it, so I can see why it was a little out there at times.
Yeah,
I was gonna say, do they team
was,
the new Wolverine
it was
up
a little
with it?
weird. But you could definitely jump into this one. I'd say like now, like if you wanted to
Issue
start
7?
reading.
I think
all
issue
new-
1 through 6 was the first arc, so this is the continuation. It's still written by Tom Taylor, so I know
Love
Scott.
that guy.
I know not Scott. I know Sal hates Tom Taylor, but
Do you really?
Tom Taylor? I don't have any problem with Tom Taylor. I didn't. I don't know. What was the book that I didn't like about the Tom Taylor did?
I was gonna say
we were
he does
reading something, and you
Injustice
were like,
now.
Tom Taylor's
He did
gonna blow it
Superior
up.
Iron Man.
No, that wasn't me. I don't have any problem with Tom Taylor.
Maybe it was Rob. I don't know.
It's probably Rob.
Freaking Rob, man, not here to defend
I mean,
himself.
I'm a huge. For those guys wondering why Wolverine's a girl, Wolverine died 3 years ago now. It's been a while.
Something like
Well, it
Has
was
it actually been 3 years?
Yeah, I think so. I think
yeah.
it's been like 3
They
years.
kept him dead.
Wow. But what ended up happening was the mantle got passed around. In the end, his daughter, it's his clone, but he adopted her. So his daughter took up the mantle. So
yeah.
And now we have Old Man Logan, so it looks like she's going to be Wolverine for the foreseeable future. What I dig about what Tom Taylor has done in this book is that, really solidify her place as Wolverine. She's been teaming up with a bunch of different members from the Marvel Pantheon. Like she teamed up with Wasp for a little bit. She got to hang out with Doctor Strange, and now she's hanging out with Squirrel Girl too. Kind of going around and meeting the press,
I feel like it's because the book says Wolverine. They're like team her up with a bunch of people, even though it's not Logan. People are going to buy this book, and we want to introduce characters that aren't doing so hot.
Do they address the fact that Wolverine and Squirrel Girl slept together?
Ooh.
Not that I know.
Oh, missed opportunity, Tom Taylor. Missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Okay, and on that note, I wanted to end this by discussing the end of Standoff. Am I the only one that read it?
No, I read it.
No, I didn't read it yet.
Okay.
So I guess that's it. That's Omega, right? That's over.
That's the final one. It's done
and this
now.
wraps it up pretty good. There really wasn't any big blowout fight, nothing like that.
No, it was just kind of good guys beating the bad guys and planting a lot of seeds for the future Captain America solo series, for possibly a
Civil
new
War. I guess.
Yeah, Civil War 2. Lots of stuff for Civil War 2. Plenty of stuff for a new cosmic hero who returned in this book.
Yes.
Yeah.
But they gender bent her like everyone else.
She was a gender. She was already a girl when Dan Abnett was doing Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
No, but Quasar has been a dude forever now, hasn't he?
No, I was a dude. Then after Guardians of the Galaxy, she got the negabands and became Quasar. Then they killed her off. And after
Quasar is a legacy, just another in a long line of legacy heroes. Actually, I really like. I wasn't going to spoil it, but now that it's just out of the bag that it was Quasar, I like what they do with Quasar and the explanation as to why Wendell Vaughn was in Pleasant Hill. I thought that was really well done.
It's funny too because Wendell Vaughn did not show up at all in the entire crossover until they said, it was like, oh, there he is, and but like
he was in tie-ins.
Yeah.
He was in tie-ins as the librarian. But he just
But
didn't.
what I'm saying is he was just a cameo, like, oh, the librarian in the back. It was one of those like story things where it's like the guy that you don't expect to be cool is going to be cool.
Wendell Vaughn was never cool until Annihilation.
So, I mean, overall, to look at the whole series as a whole, I was pretty happy with this one. The only problem I had with it is they were very unclear as to what order you should be reading this in. And no matter what they said about, oh, you can read it however you want, that's not true. Because I tried that, and I totally got the Captain America thing spoiled.
Well, really, the only ones you need to read are the ones written by Nick Spencer. So that's like Pleasant Hill, Assault, Alpha, then the two Captain Americas, then that. That's really the only way you need to read them. And the tie-ins are just nice little supplemental things that are self-contained for the most part.
Like this is they should have made the Nick Spencer like part 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the tie-ins were literally just Avengers Standoff.
They should have just done it the way they do crossovers. Like, what the hell was this? Like, I don't know. You wanted to have an event, make it an event, and call it Avengers Standoff 1, 2, 3, 4. Don't do this crap like you're doing with Spider-Women, where it's Spider-Woman Alpha, and then Spider-Woman, Spider-Gwen number 7, and like all this. Like, don't.
Well, it's obvious what they want you to do. They want you to pick up new books in hopes that will help with the sales, and also maybe you'll like the book and want to keep reading it.
I know what they're trying to do. That's what they do with tie-ins. That's why I don't buy them. I outright don't.
I agree with you, Sal, but and I'm fine with them crossing over the various books like this, because if you don't want to read the tie-ins, you just don't read that event as it's going through. What I don't like is the endings and the beginnings being solo books all to themselves.
Yes.
I don't get that. You know, they did it with Robin Rises, they did it with this, so...
It's the old Valiant model is what it is. You pick up the Alpha, and then, you goes through all the other books, and then you end it with an Omega.
Yeah,
they started that. That was a Valiant idea. Thank Jim Shooter for that. That was his deal.
How do you feel about events like this, Caboose? I know you didn't read it, so I know you're a little out of loop. But the event was very unclear as to how you read it, and I think there was a total of 12 books in it.
So it was just kind of all over the place in terms of its continuity, or
yeah, basically.
Oh man!
Like the big thing that happens in this, I'm not going to reveal it, but it happens to Steve Rogers, and you can probably guess what it is because I just said it's Steve Rogers. But that was spoiled for me because of their read however you want method.
Huh.
Yeah. So.
Well, like only a couple of the books actually took place in the titular Pleasant Hill. The other ones, were just kind of side stuff. That being said, as someone who read everything that was in Standoff, most of the tie-ins were pretty solid. Honestly, I got to say they were everyone kind of brought.
Howling Commandos wasn't because it had nothing to do with Pleasant Hill.
Well, okay. Well, the first issue of S.H.I.E.L.D. did. The second one didn't. You can skip the second part of S.H.I.E.L.D. And Howling Commandos, that was the only Howling Commandos issue I had ever read. And I'm like, man, this is pretty cool. Oh, and it's the final issue. They're done after this. There's a great line.
They tied that in.
I know, right? There's a great line that Dum Dum Dugan gives in this final issue where he's like,
"This is a fantastic name, by the way."
Yeah, it is. Where he's like, "This is for the Howling Commandos," and I'm like, "Oh, Dum Dum, they didn't cancel your book, man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Don't blame them. Don't blame the super. They didn't do it. We did it. We did it, man."
All right. Well, on that note, guys, I believe that brings us to the end of the normal podcast here. Don't worry, we are still doing the giveaway. If you haven't chatted in a little while in the chat, or you haven't been engaged, just say hi or anything in the chat right now. No, you have to have done it within the last, I think 30 minutes. So a few of the numbers are dropping off. So everyone just say hi again in the chat so you're in the queue. I'm giving you a moment to do that. I do want to give Caboose a moment to... Caboose, once again, tell the people who came in late who you are, why you're joining us this week, that kind of a thing.
So the name is Caboose XBL. For those of you who might not know me, I used to cover the Batman Arkham games, from Arkham Origins all the way to the end of Arkham Knight. And now what I'm doing with the channel is talking about all sorts of comic book movies and everything like that. Of course, there's still some news out there floating around about some other Arkham Games stuff and some Spider-Man stuff as well. So I'm always into that, always into the games and whatnot. But right now, the main part of the channel is talking about comic book movies. So if you're looking forward to them, come by, check it out.
And of course, if you guys enjoyed him, don't forget to tweet myself, Sal, and Joel that you want Caboose back. You want him to come back, read more comic books. I'm sure Caboose wouldn't mind coming back to the show.
Absolutely.
Put you on the spot in a heartbeat.
Yeah, he's going to be on the show going like, no, I'm not going to do that.
God,
this was horrible.
What a loaded question Benny offered.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right,
sure
guys,
it'll be fun, right?
While you're all still saying hi, don't forget we do stream on this channel every Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We do daily giveaways at this point. I'm just trying to get rid of comic books and stuff, so why not give it to you guys? If you are a subscriber to the channel, which is $4.99, then you do get access to a bunch of great emoticons, and you do get special giveaways starting next week just for subscribers. So you'll get to apply for the normal giveaways and the subscriber giveaways. Yesterday, on the gaming stream of Hearthstone, we gave away a Batman action figure, and we gave away a Spider-Man book.
Oh, cool.
I know Sal likes this book.
Yeah.
So don't forget to join us whenever you guys want to get some free stuff. Literally, they just sent it to me, so why not give it to you guys? I don't have room in my house. It's going to benefit you.
Sounds good.
Yeah. So don't forget to subscribe, guys, if you do want to be in those extra giveaways. If you just follow, we do appreciate that. Don't forget to check out every Sunday, Monday, and Wednesday. Those are gaming streams, and every Tuesday and Thursday are comic book podcasts like this one. And if you are free tomorrow, we will be streaming tomorrow at an undetermined time at the moment to do Diablo 1 to 70 on the season 6.
Yep.
Well, hot damn.
But I'm gonna end the recording, and then we're gonna do your giveaway, guys. So if you're watching the recording of this afterwards, I'm Benny the Comicstorian. Follow me on Twitter at Comicstorian. That is Kate Joel. Follow him as the DVD Grouch on Twitter. That is Sal. You can follow him at Sal Says What. And that is Caboose. I don't have yours memorized. What is your Twitter?
It is at Caboose_XBL.
All right, there you go.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thank you for joining us on the post, and I'm gonna end the recording now, and then we're gonna do a giveaway.